Good morning. I'm meteorologist Kevin Smith at the National Weather Service in Pocatello with your weather hazard briefing for Monday, March 3rd. Main things we're looking at here for the next week or so. First system that we've talked about here for the last couple mornings has arrived. We're seeing a mix of rain and snow, particularly below 6,000 feet. We're seeing some mostly snow in the colder temperatures above that elevation. And the general flavor for today is going to be showery. I'm going to show you the radar in a moment. We've got more of an organized band of precipitation here this morning that over the course of the afternoon will transition back to the southeast. We'll see a kind of broader shower activity out of it. Overall, best potential for slick conditions and impacts out of all of this. It's going to continue to be on some of the highways and mountain passes across the southern and eastern highlands, while most of the rest of the region should see relatively little impact from today's system. Just some inconvenience, of course, with those showers out and about today. A little bit colder out there compared to the last couple days, and certainly not that sunshine that we've been enjoying here over the weekend. Tuesday, as we mentioned yesterday, is trending drier. We may hold on to a few light rain and snow showers, especially across the southern and eastern highlands. But for the rest of the region and for most of the region, predominantly dry, predominantly a break between systems. And then our next storm in a series here that we're expecting, rain and snow moving back into the region by Wednesday evening. And actually, during the day on Wednesday, kind of still a break between systems. Looks like portions of the region may hold dry for most of the day. But Wednesday evening into Thursday, we'll see more widespread rain and snow moving back in with yet another storm system coming into the region. Weather risk outlook, as we just mentioned, we continue to kind of clear out Tuesday here. We're holding on to maybe a snow shower or two across the South Hills and the Eastern Highlands, Southeastern Highlands, and maybe Lemhi County. Other than that, there's your break. And of course, today, as we already talked about, rain and snow, breezy conditions for some areas. I'll show you that in a moment. And holding on to some more moderate impacts here in the Southeast Highlands. This is really for the Highway Over Immigration Summit. Looks like one of the highways with the best chance of seeing some longer periods of snow on the roadway, slick conditions there. But for lower elevation areas, generally fairly limited on impacts, even down across the southeast. Wednesday, dry during the day, but rain and snow if you're up in the higher elevations, moving back in by evening. That continues into Thursday, and then some lingering snow showers here on Friday, particularly as you go south and east. So we're talking from the Snake Plain and Magic Valley down across the South Hills and into the Southeast Highlands and Bear Lake, while the Central Mountain region and other areas further north do clear out during the day on Friday. Still have no watches, warnings, or advisories in effect here. We were close on the snowfall criteria here in the Bear River Range, but looks like we'll hold a little shy of that. But again, be on alert for a few slick spots here to the east of I-15 from the Big Holes down across the Bear Lake region, and maybe a few spots across the southern highlands here as well, south of I-86. And if you're headed westward, a little breezier today out toward Boise and areas west of Twin Falls where a wind advisory is in effect, and you'll see that on a graphic here in just a moment as well. A few other winter weather advisories in effect outside our local area for overall snowfall with this system working through. Not sure why the map here is flashing at you for the satellite. It must be excited because it's snowing and raining out, but quite a bit of cloud cover across our region as we're seeing that precipitation this morning. This is what the radar looks like as of about 5 a.m. You can see that right now there's an organized east to west band of rain and snow, depending on where you are, stretching from Shoshone in the Wood River Valley, east across the Arco Desert and Central Snake Plain, into the Bone area and some of the eastern highlands. You can see that is also trending just a little bit north and west with time. So over the course of the morning, this may make some more progress here to the north and west across the southern central mountains and up toward Clark County. Eventually, though, that progress should stop, and we'll see this activity start to move to the southeast again, back across the Snake Plain and toward the southern and eastern highlands this afternoon. And with time, it may become less organized and more showery as we go over the day. So just an unsettled day out there with some on and off rain and snow shower activity is generally the message with this system. Winter Storm Severity Index today doing a pretty good job at highlighting all the areas where there's a chance that we may see some snow sticking to roadways at some point over the course of the day today. Going to be a little warm here from the eastern Magic Valley up into the lower Snake Plain, favoring rain, so no shading there. But you can see light blue shading outside of that, indicating there may be some spots where you'll have to contend with some winter driving conditions. Some brighter shading here too in far western Cassia County. That's because we're going to see some pretty good wind up there in the higher elevations in the terrain south and west of Oakley, in addition to maybe some snow shower activity as well. High temperatures today taking the hit as we've been advertising. They are cooler than what we enjoyed over the weekend. Still generally reaching at least the low 40s everywhere, with of course the warmest readings here in the lower elevations. And then during the nighttime periods here for the next couple days, we'll be much closer to freezing and more supportive of snow, even to valley floors. That is, if you still have some ongoing shower activity in your area. Updated snowfall here through Tuesday morning. Not a lot of change. We did note that there maybe is a slight increase here across the Arco Desert, Craters of the Moon, up into Mud Lake. Some of that falling as rain, and then you can see maybe a little bit better coverage here of some light snow, an inch or less, depending on your exact location and temperature. And that matches up fairly well with our expectations of this band kind of stalling out there before everything shifts back to the south and east this afternoon. We also saw a slight increase here in the Big Hole Mountains, where some of the higher elevations above Pine Creek Pass may see 3 to 6 inches or so, and maybe a slight decrease down here for Immigration Summit, but still, we saw some snow on the webcams earlier tonight, and still expecting several inches of snow there in the mountain range. So again, you can see here in the southern and eastern highlands, just be on alert, particularly over mountain passes for some slick spots here through Tuesday morning. One more look at wind gusts today as well. Not a huge deal for most of you, but we will see an increase in breezy conditions out of the west-northwest. Starting here around 11 a.m., you can see those stronger winds. These are wind gusts that are shown here on this graphic, not sustained. But stronger values coming in across Boise and Mountain Home, and starting to pick up here as well from the Central Mountains into the Montana border area. Much lighter across the rest of southeast Idaho. Advance to 2 p.m., we continue that trend, and there's those stronger gusts in the wind advisory area here west of Twin Falls, and then stretching up the Treasure Valley to Boise. Some peaks here in the Central Mountains gusting over 40 miles an hour, but most of the lower elevations much lighter. And we do note that the winds stay pretty light for the most part here across most of the southern and eastern highlands. So luckily, not seeing great overlap between those strongest wind gusts and active snowfall or snow accumulations, which should also really help with keeping impacts fairly localized. By 5 p.m., fairly similar conditions here, maybe some gusts at 10 to 20 down here in the lower elevations, including in the south and east, but strongest still up north and out here toward Boise and Mountain Home. And then we'll start to back off here as we go into the evening. There's that peak in wind gusts here in western Cassia County up in the higher elevations that we mentioned earlier as well. As we head into Tuesday, look at the winter storm severity index here, really backing off on this light blue shading. The areas you see shaded have the best shot at still seeing either a lingering snow shower or maybe a slick spot or two on the roadways. But again, Tuesday, each morning here as we've recorded this briefing, really is trending into a drier break between systems kind of day for most of southeast Idaho. High temperatures on Tuesday, not really gaining or losing much. Highs in the upper 30s to low to mid 40s, depending on your location. May make a run close to 50 here if you're out toward Burley or Twin Falls. And then you can see the colder readings here in the east. That's going to be a theme here over the course of the entire week, even with the next system coming in, is right now we're not seeing huge swings in temperature toward colder or warmer conditions, kind of a stagnant pattern in that sense. Wednesday temperatures, very little change. Again, snow and rain moving back in with our next system during the evening hours Wednesday. And then Thursday, slightly cooler. You can see readings only topping out here 36 for Stanley, 33 up in West Yellowstone, only about 40 down toward Pocatello and Blackfoot, and that's with more widespread rain and snow with our next system sitting across the area during the day on Thursday. Rain and snow at lower elevations, you can see from these temperatures, and then in the mountains, predominantly snowfall. And we'll be taking a look here in the days ahead at possible accumulations with this next system. That's what we're looking at here as we kick off the week. Again, if you have questions, comments, concerns for us, we're here 24/7. You can reach us using the information here on this screen. And everyone have a great Monday.